talk about beyond the closing table, 4 hidden business to business gold mines for you as a North Carolina notary. So let me first premise, many times I share with notaries that I want you to become a notary for all of the right reasons. That means you're thinking about serving others because there is a need for what it is that you're offering. And when putting their needs ahead of your own in that capacity, and you know that there is the compensation that comes with being a notary, even though it could be at a lower scale, you have ways of positioning yourself to change what that looks like in the future. And if you are, again, your heart is to help others when it comes to notarizing documents, helping them with their affairs, the money does come. But if you're all about becoming a notary because you're just wanting to have a side hustle to actually generate income, that is not, to me, the best thought process because you are aiming for the wrong focus of what a notary public does. Because you can do almost anything to make money, all right? But being a public official is something that I want you to think about in a different capacity when it comes to what your position really is and why a notary public even exists. If you put your energies on understanding that part, then that will align you with other opportunities that can be very endless if you just stay consistent and your heart is for others and serving in the way that notaries are positioned to be able to do. And so, again, this subject is helping those that think like that, just so that they know for those that are maybe retiring, those that may not be in the capability of working like others to go out and navigate in ways of being told what to do. Because, again, some of us clash with other people, personality types, and not everyone is meant to work under another person per se. And if you find yourself being someone that can be in control, being consistent, being responsible, and staying accountable, this can work really well for you independently. So again, let's move on to beyond the closing table, a four hidden business to business gold mines for North Carolina notaries. And so, as we actually go into the different opportunities, you have the estate planning partnership. So, what does that look like? The opportunity is targeting trusts, wills, and healthcare power of attorney documents. When it comes to what those documents look like, they are various links of information because it depends on the client or customer that you're serving. With these important documents, they all need notarization. And as a notary, guess what? That's what we can do. And so when it comes to, again, knowing that this is something that we have the ability to do, it's all about how we position ourselves. Um, Being compliant is very important. So in North Carolina, a notary cannot also serve as a witness on the same document they are notarizing. This is very important for you to understand. Other states give that option to notaries, but not North Carolina. In North Carolina, the reason behind why we cannot be a we cannot be a part of the document. When you become a witness on a document, now you're part of that document, okay? And so we cannot notarize a document that we are listed on, named on, or have some interest in as a benefit in any way. So that is important when it comes to how that works. But when it comes to the estate planning partnership, think about um, who you can reach out to when it comes to attorneys that do this all the time. And you want to actually be very specific with the type of attorneys that you're trying to look into and connect with. So, again, we're talking specifically about estate planning attorney firms as well as real estate attorneys that are dealing with closings. Again, they can go hand in hand when it comes to what they can do for their customers. A lot of no, excuse me, a lot of attorneys specialize in certain practices. So find out what can be in alignment with what it is that you are interested in doing and set yourself up for success just by being available, being very well versed in what it is that estate planning is involved in. So taking some time to look into what trusts are, as well as wills and different powers of attorney. So all of those things can help you. At the end of the day, when it comes to what we can notarize, is very, very clear. Acknowledgments, jurats, which is either oaths or affirmations, proofs or verifications. And then when we have the rare documents like the voters ballot for absentee ballots, as well as the safe deposit boxes, the inventory sheets, those are the things that are the 5 different types of notarial acts that we can actually do. And when it comes to these documents, they're going to either have an acknowledgement or they're going to have a jurat. If you understand how to notarize both, then that's pretty much half the battle. And that's pretty much what we learned in our initial class. But again, the different documents, there's so many of them. They can't cover that in that 8-hour class, okay? So that is why I present the classes that I teach. So you can actually be well versed with several different documents that are more common that notaries are working with on a daily basis. So when it comes to healthcare and hospital mobilization, the opportunity is you have urgent notarizations that are requested for advanced directives and powers of attorney. Um, you must verify that the principal, of course, in these situations that are signing are voluntarily signing these and is aware of the nature of the act. If a patient is heavily medicated or incoherent, you must refuse to perform the notarial act. That's to me very, very simple. You have to learn how to read body language, understand how people speak, to actually know if they are understanding what's going on. If you're a new notary, you may be very excited about having the opportunity to notarize for the very first time, or you may have already notarized 1 or 2 documents along your journey. But again, you're still kind of new and somewhat nervous. And the goal is to never put yourself in a position of being compromised. Some people can observe when you are new, and they can take advantage of you by just trying to coerce you to do things that you should not be doing. And we need to know exactly how to handle those situations very well. It's going to take some time, and depending on your career path, or I should say, all the things you have done along the way in your life, those things do actually become more apparent of why they're going to help you now in your role of a notary public. So the goal is again to be observant, understand the North Carolina notary laws, and it's just like talking to a child when they're sleepy or when they just awaken, they're not coherent in some of the questions you may ask them initially about something because their mind has not registered what you are talking about. So just think about along those lines. Any patient in care of a hospital or any healthcare field, again, if they are taking medication, their minds are altered. And that's the worst time that we can do anything for them to notarize documents because, once again, they're not in a clear mind mental state. So we have to be observant and paying attention to that and refusing to perform a notarization. So you can refer to North Carolina General Statutes 10B, the 20 paragraph Q. So again, when it comes to how you can actually help yourself be in the best position to help others, know your general statutes and refer to your Notary Public manual often. Then when it comes to serving senior communities, you have several different types of senior living communities, and that again, they need our assistance. And just to actually give a put a plug out there, it's not hard to actually position yourself to do seminars, or I would say a time where you can go and just talk to them on a topic. It could be how to protect themselves when it comes to identity theft. Many of them may have cell phones, and of course, we know that you have scams all the time. People who act to be someone they are not, and unfortunately, we do have a lot of our seniors that are lonely and they want company. And anytime their phone rings, if they don't have a lot of family and friends that come and visit with them and take time to just be available, they just want to talk. They just want to have a conversation. If you ever work with a senior or seniors on a regular basis, you will start identifying those that just really don't really care about the document as much as your company, and you may be a stranger because most times we have met them for the very first time, but they don't care. They just know that you have come to their aid and you are someone they can now talk to. So always plan your time with a senior, when it comes to just knowing it's probably going to be another 20 minutes of time with them because I personally don't believe in rushing through um, the document or conversation, because they will know if you're genuine or you just don't have time for them and they're just a number. That is the worst position to put a person in that is going to actually give you their business, right? And so the goal is for you to understand the mindset you must have when you're working with certain group of people. So when it comes to the opportunity, you can do recurring notary days for residents handling financial matters or estate updates, where you can actually present to the facilitator, or the facility director what you would like to do and bring to the community when it comes to you being available and setting up a couple of hours throughout the week where you can actually say, well, Wednesdays I'll be here and I will actually charge no fee for your residents that need certain documents notarized. And you can give that certain time frame. This is how you introduce yourself. This is how people get to know who you are. And this is a part of servitude when it comes to an exchange of giving them the opportunity to get something notarized, building your appearance and relationships, and then as time goes on, you can start encouraging or implementing the fee if it's something on an outside basis that is not within the time frame that you have scheduled. So if someone calls you later and say, Shannon, I actually do have a document that needs to be notarized. My daughter will be bringing it to me on Friday. Will you be available around 3? Then you can say, yes, Ms. Valentine, that will work for my schedule. However, do you know how many documents need to be notarized? And she's like, well, I think it's like maybe 3. Well, then you can say, well, just to let you know, it is a fee of $10 per document that I notarize when it comes to notarizing your signature. Now, will you be okay with $30 if that's 3 documents that need to be notarized? And at that time, she can say yes or no, or, oh my goodness, I did not know it's going to be that much. I really don't have that. Well, again, we are caring people, the majority of us. I personally don't actually charge a lot to my seniors. So if I can discount it, I definitely will. Now, if the daughter is the one who's actually financially taking care of this, is not a problem, then that's a different conversation. But if it's coming from the senior directly, I try to look out for my seniors when I can. So this is something that you always have the option to do. You can charge up to that $10 max, or you can discount it to $0. So again, that is up to how you want to actually work this, but that is always an option and they can definitely appreciate it. So um, it's important for you to actually take in consideration transparency is trust. Always provide a breakdown of the $10 statutory fee versus your travel fee before the appointment begins if you're going to charge for travel. And that is part of the statute that we must follow if we're going to do that. Okay, so we got to make sure we're staying compliant. And then when it comes to group homes and specialized facilities, this is another group of business to business that we can actually position ourselves to actually be available. So when it comes to the opportunity, it is assisting staff and residents with legal and medical documentation. When it comes to the compliance part, is having proper identification. Um, that's never negotiable. Okay, we have to make sure we go through the satisfactory evidence of making sure that we are getting the right type of documentation or identification, as well as making sure that it's unexpired. Okay, so just making sure that we go over those protocols with whomever we're talking to, then this will put us in the best position. Sometimes when you're dealing with group homes, you have a lot of diverse groups of individuals that's there. And so they may not have proper identification. So if there's a credible witness where you may actually know someone very personal that you may have went to college with, they have opened up a group home, and they have actually got to know a lot of the residents. Where if you come to notarize for one of the individuals, if your good college friend is there, they could be possibly a credible witness. Okay, and a credible witness is someone who knows you very well and you know them, that you can trust what they're going to say, and that credible witness is someone who knows the actual signer very well. So if the principal signer does not have proper identification, then your friend, college friend, can be the credible witness. But that is the only way that other alternative of identification can be used when it comes to satisfactory evidence. So once again, you understanding how that works, this can help you again position yourself on giving them options on how they can still use your services when you can explain to them what their options are. So again, being able to get that information up front can help a whole lot when it comes to positioning yourself. So we went over um, the estate planning partnership. So positioning yourself as a professional witness coordinator. Attorneys love notaries who bring their own unbiased witnesses to streamline the process. As healthcare and hospital mobilization, we can build a hospital go bag and extra North Carolina compliance certificates. Remember to lose certificates you can actually download from the Secretary of State website. Those are so convenient, and I always encourage you to keep at least 10 on hand at all times of both your acknowledgments and of the jurat. And again, this is good for these hospital forms that are often lacking the proper North Carolina statutory language. So again, just prepare yourself with your goodie bag for, or your go bag, I should say, for the hospital visits in that way. When it comes to serving your senior living communities, I spoke on being transparent builds trust. So as long as we're able to openly tell them exactly what to expect, this wins trust for us all the time. If you have a website, that is something you want to again be transparent when it comes to our fees and our travel costs, so that there's no question and uncertainty of, okay, how much is it? Everybody who is actually a notary that has a website should have the same information when it comes to the statutory rate for the state of North Carolina. If you don't, you may want to look back and kind of update the information so you can be uniformed in exactly what the general statute says we can charge. Okay. And again, you can always let them know when you have a conversation how that may vary when it comes to complicated situations where they may not have a witness per se, and they're asking you, can you help them with a witness? To express to them, if you have to get a witness to accommodate them, there may be an additional fee in that degree that goes straight to the witness to compensate their time, which is usually around $25 max per witness. So those are the things that you can again have a conversation about to make it clear on how that works. Again, we're trying to help them the best that we can, but you want to make sure you're doing things in a legal way without it not violating the law when it comes to our fees that we can only charge maximum of $10. And then when it comes to the group homes and specialized facilities, again, when you deal with identification, if you have to use a credible witness, Ensure your credible witness is not a party to the document and is personally known to you. So all of those things again are very important when it comes to how we navigate that situation. So when it comes to upcoming opportunities for you to learn more on all of these types of documents that are usually used in these scenarios, that is something that I bring to you through the 2-day Notary Basics Accelerated Workshop. I will be in Greensboro, Lord willing, April the 17th through 18th, July 24th, 25th, October 23rd, and 24th. In um, this workshop, there is a 200-page workbook slash study guide that goes over 16 documents that are commonly used. So again, this is a curriculum that has been created over 4 years ago, and I'm constantly improving over time. And of course, with notaries that have actually taken the classes and getting their input, this is how things are evolving from me just being here in Charlotte to navigating to Raleigh last year to now Greensboro, because we have a lot of notaries in the Guilford County area. And that's the reason why that has been decided for this year. Now, of course, next year may be different, but we're seeing how things are going to navigate as I now have this online as well. I started last year because I want to take into consideration notaries that are in further parts of the state that are over 2.5 to 3 hours away from Charlotte that can actually benefit from the online opportunity. So I have the upcoming dates of May 22nd and 23rd, August 21st through 22nd, and November the 20th through the 21st. And now, for the first time, I am going to mobilize myself in other areas of the state of North Carolina. Fayetteville being one of the first ones outside of my anchor location in Greensboro, which will be March 27th and 28th, which is next Friday and Saturday. The deadline to register was last Saturday, this past Saturday, but I have extended it through Thursday at midnight because there have been others that have contacted me asking if I could please extend it when they actually get paid. So again, that is an option now for you guys. And with that, you will get um, a pre-recorded access to the content planner or content planning that I did live earlier in the year, where I will show you exactly how to plan out your schedule and create posts for the entire year. I've been able to create that concept over 2 years ago, and if you are in the actual Confident Notaries of North Carolina Facebook group, you will see consistency of these different quotes and just information that can be very beneficial on your notary journey that is displayed every single day. I don't want you to ever miss a beat when you come onto the page to get some insight to help you think about some things that can help you along your journey. That's the goal of this group, is to have collaboration, having a place for a safe space, and the support and resources that you deserve as a notary public here in the state of North Carolina. And then I will actually be moving to the or visiting Morehead City June 26th and 27th, which is Carteret County, because Carteret County actually are the first, no, the only and the first community college that has asked me to place my notary signing agent class with them. And this has been successfully done since October 2024. I do two half days every month, once a month, on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. So the next one that's coming up is going to be the first Tuesday and Wednesday of April. And so, again, for those that may want to take a signing agent class, learning how to actually facilitate a loan closing, that is an opportunity to go through the community college. I also do those in person here in Charlotte as well as online on Saturdays all day. And so I'll be also moving my program to Asheville in September. So if you're in the Asheville area, I'm coming closer to you on September the 25th and 26th. Locations are always shared with those that register. within 2 weeks of the date that we're actually going to meet. And that's usually around the time that the deadline is for the registration as well. And then finally, I'll be here in Charlotte at the end of the year, December the 18th and 19th, just to bring it home. So again, we don't have these at all throughout the year, as we started 4 years ago, but here we are. So again, I'm looking forward to those that are ready to actually move forward to really learning and advancing their skill level as a notary public so that you can actually be proficient, efficient, and be of excellence when it comes to how you can actually help our communities as a notary. So please don't wait too long. But there are several options and opportunities for you to actually take this unique class. And there's a lot of notaries that are here tonight that can actually share their own testimony as far as what this has been for them when it comes to positioning themselves for excellence. And again, that is what I do. Some people say, Belinda, you be doing too much. No, I don't think I do enough when it comes to the need. So that's the reason why I really am looking to create my next venture next year, Train the Trainer. So I can have other notaries like myself that can actually educate other notaries in this capacity that are in different areas that is hard for me to get to on a regular basis. And that would be how I position it. So again, there's opportunities to grow in all areas as a leader in this position of a notary public. So, again, cheers to all of you that took the oath and are actually making a positive impact for the communities that you're serving. And thank you guys from the bottom of my heart because, again, a lot of people don't understand all of the responsibilities that being a notary public holds. And many times they actually downplay it, where we have to actually help them understand it is not that simple when it comes to exactly what our responsibilities are as far as just stamping and signing. There's so much more involved in that. And so, again, it's my pleasure to help those be more well versed and understand what it is that we truly do and can actually appreciate it and respect it. So I'm going to actually now open the floor to questions for anyone who may have any questions about what we just actually spoke on. And if you want to actually share or ask any questions that may not have anything to do with the subject, we have 15 minutes that I can actually give for all of those things. And who's got questions?
Dave put said he has a question, a notary travel question.
Okay, Dave, can you hear me, Dave? Is he still on? You're on mute if you're talking, Dave. Okay, so let me read the first one. Also, elder law attorneys, what they do is very similar to what estate and trust attorneys do, plus some other things such as Medicaid planning. Okay, that's good to know, Dave. Thank you for that. And again, what is your question to have for travel? And Dave is usually prompt with responding, so he may have stepped away. Is there any other questions or comments?
Hey, Belinda, you were talking about the jurats and stuff having the copies in your
Yes,
back.
yes, the loose
I have,
certificates.
yes, I have the certificates, but I also have the stamps. So when we if we do the stamp, do we just stamp at the bottom of that page of the document?
So if it's space that will allow that, those are beneficial for that reason without having to worry about stapling a loose certificate. So yes, as long as there's enough space on the document for you to place the stamp with the wording for the loose certificate after your customer chooses, which one they want, then yes, you can do that.
Okay, it's that form that I sent you the other night for the doctor's office.
I gotta remember because I know I looked at
It's
a
like
lot of stuff.
a DEA POA form for the doctor's office, and you said to just attach it. I was making sure I need to attach a certificate, and you said yes. But then I was wondering later on if I could just use my stamp on that. But it's not till
If there
Friday.
was enough space, I'm trying to remember if there was enough space allowed, then you could definitely have done that.
Okay,
Many times, if there's not enough space or wiggle room, then yes, you're going to have to
attach.
use a loose certificate and attach it with a stapler.
Okay. Zoe says, has anyone completed a field inspection? I just completed one today with a company. It was pretty quick and easy. Just wondering if others had the same experience.
I personally have done field inspections, but each field inspection or company has different assignments. Mine was more of accidents where I had to take pictures of the vehicle that was in the accident or go to the property that an accident occurred where someone may have fallen and take specific photos for them. And they give a list of everything in detail. They normally have a software that is actually a part of a mobile app. So any photos that I actually take are not going to be on my personal device after I submit the information. Is now going to their server where I no longer have access to those photos. So that was my experience. So share your experience, and then I'm gonna go to Candace, Dave, and then Vicky.
So it was the same pretty much. I got a text message and an email about 12:45. I accepted, um, contacted the owner saying I would be there today between 5 and 6.
Okay.
Um, it took me longer to get there than anything else. um,
Yeah.
the traffic, it was like it took me 30 minutes to get there. Um, but yeah, it was a cool first experience. And funny enough, I've actually been to that restaurant. Um, so I was like, it looks fine, like everything, looked good. So yeah, it was cool.
All right. Well, congratulations on your first experience. So
Thank
more to
you.
come, I can only imagine. And Candace.
Hi. You mentioned when you first started about thinking outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a post on some notary group on Facebook today, and the notary said that whenever she has somebody cold calling at her home, she turns it around and gives them the sales pitch that she's a notary.
I like that. I like that. All right.
She's trying to get just a little business out of it, so but
Oh
another
my
thing
goodness,
is
that's not a bad idea. Okay.
if I have to
Thank you for
listen
sharing
to
that.
your sales pitch, you should listen to mine.
Yes, exactly. Because you called me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
And then, like with absentee ballots, we're not
Yes,
allowed to charge for those.
that's
So
correct.
make it a marketing event,
Yeah,
you
you sure
know?
can.
Yes.
Of
So
course,
like
every time you like, oh, I'm sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
I'm in my HOA, I'm like, I'm just gonna put the word out and say, "Hey, I'm gonna be at the clubhouse from this time to this time on Saturday. Bring them by." No.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, a lot of times, though, when you're dealing with absentee ballots, you are working with possibly um, individuals that are not mobilized. So you may have to actually position yourself to come to them if the need is required. So, but I do like your idea of having the shared location for the residents, or I should say the community to come to when it comes to what you can offer. So that's always a plus.
Mhm.
Okay, Candice. So let me know how that goes, okay? And Dave, are you back?
Yep, I have my mic fixed. I have
Oh,
a travel
okay.
question. Say I
Yes, sir.
had three clients. I know how to charge for travel if they're spread out during the day, and I go
Mm-hmm.
from my office to the first client and back to the office. And then the first couple of hours later, I go from the office to the second client and back to the office. And then late afternoon, I go from the office to the third client and back to the office. But what if they're all crammed in the morning, back to back to back? And I travel from the office to client one to client two to client three, and finally client three back to the office. How do I charge them for the mileage?
So when it comes to what the statute says, it has to be a negotiated rate that is agreed upon. So you can decide on how you want to charge that, and if they say they're okay with it, then that's what you need to record, and make sure it's in writing. If that
But
answers your question.
doesn't it also say something about actual mileage?
So the question is, if you're audited, are you able to prove your time or your location from and to? So it's all about, again, it's very, very clear as far as a negotiated, agreed upon amount. So you can actually technically do a round trip as if you did go from your place of business to the location back, even if you're traveling from one point A, B, C, and then back to your residence. When it comes to, again, being able to give them what that fee would be if it was just them alone, when it comes to that amount being actually shared and them agreeing to it.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that because that wouldn't be my actual miles. My actual miles could be less. And I
So
know that
you
I can
will.
charge less, but I'm not quite sure when it says actual mileage exactly what to do and how to be fair to the clients. Like I shouldn't charge anyone, well, I have to think about it more too, but I shouldn't charge anyone more than it would cost for me to go from my office to them and back to my office. But the actual mileage is sort of tricky because it's like I go to the first client, I drove from the office to them. But then when I go from the first client to the second client, who pays for that? It sort of seems like they should each pay for half. I'm not
So
that
this is what I
popular.
would
I'm not
do.
worried about it.
I use Google Maps, Dave, and so in Google Maps you can always show exactly where you need to go. It gives you the mileage, and I calculate it from there. So if you're going from your office to client A, customer A, excuse me, then you can actually let them know what that mileage would be when it comes to how much you're going to charge. And again, everybody has to have it in writing, correct? So, with that being said, when you go from customer A to customer B, what that amount of time of travel, that's what you can record, and that's how much you can actually tell them you're charging. From client B to C, the same thing. What is that distance? So you can actually calculate that so it can be again in writing. And then, of course, back to your destination. So, um, it does not have anything to do with A or B when it comes to what you're charging C when it comes to your last stop to go back to your home office. That is still part of your travel to and from, and it's up to you to decide on how that is going to work for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. And Miss Vicky, and then we got Stacy.
Yeah. To add to what Dave said, my journal has a place for starting and ending mileage odometer. So I at least write down what my starting and ending numbers are. I haven't had the case where I'm going from A to B and B to C and C to D yet, but we'll see what happens. I thought I would pass on the info I told Belinda about. I had to do a, whoops, sorry, my microphone. what was called of I don't want to be the executor for the account, and the thing was a court document that just said witness and didn't have any indication at all that it wanted a notary. So I just wrote my name in as a witness thing, and it came back the next week saying, nope, I need it notarized. So, and yeah, if you Google it, yeah, they really do need it notarized, although the document has no indication whatsoever on it. So if someone brings you the document that it's saying they want to change the executive from person A to person B and they need it notarized, yes, they really do. You need either a loose certificate or I use the stamp. But yeah, it does not say that on the document anywhere at all.
And
That's
that
Just
is
said
something.
witness.
That's like the document I sent you, Belinda. There's nowhere on there. There's nothing on there that says that actually says it needs a notary signature.
Yeah.
Which is why
Yep.
I asked you about it to. I thought I was right, but I wanted to make sure. But yeah, because I was like, why didn't he? I don't see anything about him about having to be notarized. But she said,
Right.
I
I was
know.
That's what Miss Vicky
confused.
said. She's like, how was I supposed to know?
And I was like, oh, maybe this is one of those ones
So
I was
yeah,
supposed to apply attach a jurat. So that's when I texted you and asked you just to make sure I was on the right page.
yeah.
And so Miss Vicky,
And
I
no,
have
listen,
actually.
the guy had an expired ID, which is even worse.
There was a whole lot going on that day for you on that particular document. But again, we go through these experiences and it just helps us be prepared for future ones of, okay, well, this, if it happens again, this is how you can proactively now be in a position to plan for it, right? So again, to your point, Ms. Vicky, yes, if the wording is not there, we the notary don't know. So again, if it comes back, and of course we do our research, then we can actually apply the loose certificate because we can do that for any document that doesn't have the notarial certificate language. And it's unfortunate that whoever created this form did not think about that to make it very clear to a notary, or I should say the principal signer, so they'll know that yes, we do need this notarized because this is the instructions say so. So we can only go by what we see in that event of a document being produced to us to actually be a witness or to notarize it. So that's a good point. But yes, you have a lot of companies that are creating these forms, and it's not very clear to the principal signer that it is benefiting, nor a notary that is looking at it and don't see the verbiage and the notarial certificate. But again, if a client says, "Can you please notarize this?" and we can see there's no notarial language, we can always ask them what loose certificate do they want to choose. So that way we can actually cover those bases when someone's asking for notarization and the wording is not presented on the document. Thank you for that.
Unfortunately, it was a court document from North Carolina, which was even worse.
Again, you're dealing with notary section, and when you know that attorneys, they do not learn about notary law during the bar. So it's unfortunate, but hopefully over time they will improve these things if there's enough requests and complaints about it. But again, who knows? This could be before we're along the way when we're no longer here that changes may be made. But yeah, we're gonna come across some complicated information where it doesn't really make sense when it comes to who created it. But this is part of what we go through in our journeys, and I know we can all write a story. Um, so let me get to Miss Stacy Sloan next, and then Yanira.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I was just wanted to ask about getting an agreement in writing with regards to the travel expense part of the um, notarial act or transaction. So, how do you go about getting that written authorization or agreement from the client? Will a text message suffice as an agreement?
Good question, and yes, ma'am, it does. So in writing means text message or email. The
Thank you.
goal is to always, based on the statute, though, we have to have that in writing by text or email before we come and meet with them to actually do the work. Now, the other example is if someone may have met you like in the grocery store, and they happen to learn through conversation that you're a notary, and they may say, oh my goodness, I have a document that needs to be notarized, but it's at home. Can you help me with that? Then
Yeah.
at that point, you can say, okay, so where do you live? And then they can say where they're at. You can tell them, okay, well, once I go home and get my tools, I can come back. But the travel fee, and then you can actually go and do your Google mapping on your phone.
Yeah.
And if you have a postcard, if you have a notepad, you can say, okay, well, by law, we have to have an agreed upon amount in writing. So let me just kind of write this down and you sign it and say you're agreeing to it, then that would be another way of having in physical writing for that agreement, which is very rare. But yeah, the alternatives will be text message and email.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Did you talk to Nicola today?
Did a who? Yes, yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes,
All
I did.
right. All right. So I was looking for you. Okay, cool.
Yes,
I'll
I
let her
did.
know I saw you today.
All right.
And Yanira, you're next.
I have a question, just to
Yes.
clarify myself. Uh, any notary can come to this chats, right? Or
Any
do they have
notary?
to have North Carolina notary can come to these tune-up chats, or does the person has to be invited by you?
You can invite someone that's a notary, because again, not everyone know who I am, but you may come across other notaries and invite them over. So yes, you can do that.
Okay, good, because Miss Celia is my baby sister, and she's here
Really?
tonight for the first time.
Hi, Celia. The mute, or the mic is at the top if you want to unmute yourself and say hi. She's gonna get you in there for putting her on the spot, okay?
Of course, I finally got her to get to a meeting.
Well, wonderful. Well, welcome, Celia.
She was having problems trying to write a message, to write something in. So she's just having difficulties with the app.
The technology, okay.
Yeah, with the technology. So I'll sit with her later. She's texting me. I say hi, but I can't unmute it. So
Okay.
I'll sit with her later.
All
But I'm
right. Well,
glad that
welcome.
she's able to come in today.
Well, thank you, Yanira. And so again, to Yanira's inquiry, that is something that I encourage all of you to do is invite another notary that has not been on any of our Tuesday notary tune-ups, so that they can actually see how our community works and how this is an extension of what we do when it comes to helping them, and this been an additional resource for them as well. And then I have Candace. Candice,
Oh,
you're muted if you're trying to talk.
I just forgot to unraise my hand. Sorry.
Okay. You're all right, guys. Is there any other? Okay, yes, Monica.
I just wanted to share that this is the time for you to solicit yourself at the baseball fields, because now the parents need documentation notarized for field trips, for their baseball leagues. Some of them need it when they be going from one league to another league, or permission slips from the doctors and different things. So this is your time, notaries, to solicit yourself to those baseball fields, so that the parents could get to know you and you could get to notarize those documents. Even if it's not for $10, you might get the whole fill for $5. You just never know.
Oh, that's a great one, Monica. Thank you for that. Once
You're
again,
welcome.
you never know what gems you may actually receive while you're here. This also will be posted on our YouTube channel, which is NC Notary Coach. Please do subscribe. The goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers, hopefully the first quarter of this year. But again, people are discovering us little by little, and the more that you guys interact on the channel, the more we are able to get visibility. So please do take time to um, make a comment, ask a question, so we can have some engagement and some interactions. Those things really do help. Yes, Deonica.
I was just gonna say when you're talking about the marketing piece. So I have transitioned my position at my job, and so now I work in the operating room, and so I've been using that when the doctors have been asking what I've been up to. I bring it up. Oh, I have my own business, and one doctor yesterday said, "Give me your card because I needed one last week." He said, "You need to post it up in the doctor's lounge. You need to post it up downstairs." So I always keep my cards on me, and I always keep my bag on me. So because you just never know.
That's
I've gotten a
right.
couple of jobs like while I've been out, or can you come out to work or whatever. So I'm actually going to a doctor's office on Friday. So when they ask what I've been up to, and I tell them, and I leave them a card and a pen.
And
Because then,
Deonica, if you don't mind sharing, can you share your experience with the 2 day Notary Basics Accelerated Workshop?
yes, if you haven't been, I highly recommend it. Ours ended up being virtual because Mother Nature decided to come and bless us with a whole bunch of snow and ice. But it was still very good. Belinda worked really hard to get us our books, and the books are amazing. It actually takes you step by step, going through all the different forms that you would see on a regular basis: titles, deeds, loan signings. There's several different types of forms, and you pair up with someone and you actually get to go through it step by step. So that is very, very helpful. I'm a hands-on person. I'm a visual person. So you can talk to me till you're blue in the face and it is not going to click. So I need to see it and be able to do it. So the step-by-step process is really amazing. And so if you have the opportunity, please do it. Do the afterpay. That's what I had to do because I needed it. And then ironically, like a week, Belinda, I think, maybe less than a week after
Yeah, it
that,
was.
I was asked to notarize a document that we had actually gone over in the book. And I texted Belinda. I was like, "Guess what? Thank you so much. I have my notary Bible with me, so I keep it in my bag to refer to as needed. So it's really, really helpful. So I strongly encourage everybody to take advantage of it.
And it's called the Notary Bible now because of Deonica, okay?
And which
Listen, it's
course
in
was
my
that?
bag,
And
huh?
which course was it?
It's the
It's
two
a
day
two
course.
Okay.
it's yeah, it's a 2 day Notary Basics Accelerated course, also called the NBA. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Please,
So
please do it. Find a way to get it done. I promise you, you will not regret it. You won't regret it.
yes, Monica, you are up next.
I was trying to reply to Stacy, asking about the manual, the new coming manual, and it being available at the community college, be available at all the community colleges. I guess that's what she's saying. Yes.
Oh,
But it wouldn't let me respond back to it. It wouldn't let me text her back for some reason. So
okay.
that was her question.
Thank you,
I
Monica. I really
know
like that.
I know for the student of government, it's showing that it's going to be available April the 15th. It started with April the 1st and it has been now pushed back to April the 15th. So hopefully all of the bookstores will have them, especially now that they are teaching the new curriculum through the slides for anyone who's actually taking the classes now, which is kind of challenging for a lot of the students and the instructors alike when it comes to going over the material because the information is not matching from the slides to what's actually in the 2016 manual. Everything is now for the 2026, and everybody has pretty much mutually agreed that they would have preferred that the Secretary of State would have waited until the book was actually ready for accessibility before switching the program. But it is what it is. They're navigating through it as best as possible, and you still have a pretty good success rate of notaries, or I should say those that pass the class to become a notary. So again, you don't really start doing a lot of the understanding of the basics of the work until we're actually out here in the trenches doing it. So again, just to help you along the way, the goal is always to create resources that I know is going to benefit everybody as a notary public. And again, I meet you where you are. If you are watching the replay, please subscribe, like, and share this with fellow notaries. And I'm thanking you all for your support continuously. So again, you've been able to be a part of this channel, the group, and all the things that we do. We have an upcoming conference at with the North Carolina Notary Association that is May the 16th through the May the 14th through 16th, which starts on Thursday and Friday with a lot of different training classes. But then we have an actual full day of our conference on that Saturday with our guest speaker, Ozzy Stallworth. Hopefully, Secretary Elaine Marshall will be able to be there. We're not sure yet, but she's usually in attendance. So there's a lot of impactful things out here for us. We also have the Sovereign Citizens training that's coming up on the 23rd of this month online. And Laura Brewer, she is the NNA, she's the Notary of the Year. She just received that award this week, and she will actually be in our presence in May, talking about dealing with or working with the elderly. So these are free opportunities for members of the NCNA, or $25 for non-members. If you go to the NCNA on the NCNA website, which is ncnotary.org, you'll be able to see all of the things that we're actually bringing to notaries that are members and non-notaries. I'm also the president that's serving in this capacity on the board with the North Carolina Notary Association, looking for my second term coming up this year. And so again, those of you that can be a part of the association, again, this is the association for North Carolina notaries. And we put in a lot of our time when it comes to just trying to make sure we have some quality of work for you guys when it comes to, again, additional resources. So again, together we can definitely make some amazing things happen. So we're looking forward to you being a part of everything that we're doing. And before I end, let me get Deonica. Your hand is raised.
I have a quick question. And maybe I just missed it on the website for the conference, but if I can only go on Saturday, what's the fee for just coming for Saturday? Did I miss it? I see the fees for like staying overnight, like one night or 2 nights or whatever. But if I just drive up on Saturday just to come to the conference, did I miss it?
Monica, you can answer.
Up above that, Donica, is up above that, and I think I want to say 145. I might be wrong. It might be 145. Just go and look again, and right above that, it tells you 1 day, 2 day. I think in 3 days. I think that's
Okay.
how it's up there.
Okay.
Yeah, 147. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
See, teamwork makes the dream work. I'm telling you guys.
I was probably reading too fast or reading right over it or something.
There's a lot, I'm pretty sure, going on with our page because it's a lot of information. And so
Yeah.
sometimes you have to look at it several times just so you can actually see everything eventually.
Everything. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes,
Thank you.
and I encourage you all, go back to the page, take your time and look at it. Please sign up for the Sovereign Citizen and the other class that Belinda was talking about, and look at the blog. Please take a moment and read the blog. Those blogs are really, really informative, and they're really good. And it's also a part of our learning, because just like you learning here, when you go back to the blog, it's the same thing, but it just have a little bit more detail, just in case you forgot something. So please go back to the blog. You call it NNA, but you could also call us too. Just have to go back to the blog. We don't have a 1-800 number yet, but it's working. It's working. We working on it. We working
And
on getting.
although we don't have the 800 number, everyone should have my number. Okay. I can't answer right away sometimes, but I will get back to you as soon as I can. just because that is the goal, is to make sure you do have another reference outside of the Secretary of State that closes at 5 o'clock. They're open from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, but after 5 o'clock, again, that is something that I want to make sure you are very clear of accessibility. You can communicate and reach out to me, text message, email, messenger many times as well, and a phone call. And again, the goal is for me to respond as soon as I can, just so I can make sure you're good. Okay. So once we can get everything underway, we're hoping to have that hotline for you. I will always say contact someone from the NCNA before the NNA, because they're not state law specific. And we want to make sure that you're getting the right guidance and the answers that you can actually factually check once you actually receive that information as well. So again, thank you everyone for attending tonight. I actually went over. My husband, thankfully, is very understanding.
Don't be
So
sorry and happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
and so again, always be learning, and I look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday, Notary Tune-up. Okay, same time.
Okay.
Thank
All right, y'all
you.
have a good night.
Bye.